Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. Today's episode we're going to be looking at that MTD rear wheel tiller, the little one with the 5.5 horse on it. It's sold and I got it out the other day to start it up and I can't stop it. It won't turn off without putting your finger in by the micro switch and having a little look into there. So there's got to be something wrong on the micro switch or a cable adjustment or something going on there. But I've got lots of other little projects that are coming up I want to show you, and also how I'm getting on with a cable that's being fitted into the house. Come up against a bit of a stumbling block with that, so we need to look into all that sort of stuff. Also, whilst I'm here, got a couple of bits and pieces. Got a little present from Top Conquer, came in just the other day. Part number 597474, which is the Briggs & Stratton overhead valve E-series engines. You can now just buy just the cartridge on its own, rather than buying a complete carburetor. I go for about £9 with postage somewhere in there. So if you want to pick up some of those for your hunting plastic Briggs carburetors, the overhead valve ones, not the classic engines. The part number, as I say, for those is 597547. So go and pick some up. They're quite cheap, and hopefully we'll get down and get dirty with some of them a bit later on. I've got a couple of E-series engines that need doing. On top of that, I've got a little present off of my Amazon wish list, which came in. Got my paperwork for it here. And this has come from Henry. Enjoy your gift from Henry. I shan't say his surname Henry, but you know who you are. So that's fantastic. He sent me a little gift via my Amazon wish list, which you'll find down in the comments section. And he sent me, let me get these out, the entire box set, if you like, selection of micro drill bits. There's 5 boxes there, range from quite a good size all the way down to absolutely stupid silly small size. So yeah, super happy with those. So thank you very much, Henry. They will become very handy. I've already broke 2 of my other set already, so he's bought me a complete set of micro drill bits. So thank you very much. If anyone wants to check out my Amazon wish list, feel free to do so. It's in my about section. It's also in my comments section as well. Anything you guys donate towards the channel helps me out, and going forward it gets paid back into the channel somewhere else. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's check out this rototiller and some other little bits and pieces that's come in and jobs to do. Okay, so as you can see, we have another Ransom Marquee coming. This one's actually mine. I picked this one up from Havant. It's up near Portsmouth, up the road from me. And this was free to collector. Come and get it. I can't pass that up, because even if it's no good, the grass box alone is worth money. The carburetor is worth money. All that sort of good stuff. So there's money in the bank already here. I couldn't pass it up. The grass box has been modified ever so slightly to change some of that, how that's configured. The bell housing is all loose. It's got the wrong fuel cap on it. All these little things make a difference when you go to sell these type of machines. The fuel tank actually isn't too bad. I have a spare Ransom Marquee fuel cap, which is the right one for it. It's got an overhead valve spark plug in it, the wrong spark plug. I have put some spray down it and it does fire. It doesn't run, but it's very jittery, which tells me that maybe the points, if it is got a set of points in here, the points need doing. I don't think it's got solid state ignition. I think it's a point system. It's got the Amel carburetor on the back. It's got all the stuff it needs, all the stuff it, it's complete. But for free, I couldn't pass it up. So this will be coming back up. If I can get it to run right, then I'll do another little spray job on it. It won't be anything like the old one I did. But it looked nice and tidy and sold on to make a profit and put it back into the channel. So you'll see that one coming up very soon. So next, I've got back in the workshop the MTD Pinto ride-on lawnmower. This has got the 6.5 overhead valve Intec engine on it, and this engine is very poorly. After the video, I used it once or twice, and it's got spark, it's got compression. It's got fuel, it's doing everything it should do, except one major thing, which is starting. I just cannot get this machine to even fire. So it's telling me it's got a problem maybe with the valves. I have had the valves off, cover off, and they're all moving as they should do, but the valve could have let go. The rods all seem to be fine, the end caps are all on, the locking caps are all there. Everything is where it needs to be, apart from stripping down this engine to look internally. I have checked the timing, all that sort of stuff that I would normally do. I just can't figure it out. But rather than invest in this engine and take it apart, hours and hours of work, found a new bloke on eBay, and he stripped stuff. And there's a nice little Hater 48 engine there, which is a Briggs overhead valve. The shaft should be the same. I've got to configure a little bit to do with the kill switch, I believe, because this has got a dead man's handle on it and the Pinto doesn't, so I've got to figure that out. But you'll see that coming up, so that'll be an engine swap. Also, I've got a bit of silver walling, haven't finished it yet, but from here all the way around, all behind here, behind the workbench, all the way down, I've had all the bench out, and all the way down here I've had this back wall out. I've got to do this quarter section wall here, and I've got to do down to here. So it's all now been fully insulated. You can see it just tucked behind up the top here. So it's all been now fully insulated and been siliconed up. And also another upgrade is new windows. I've replaced the old windows, which were about 1 mil thick, to a 4 or 4.5 mil thick perspex. And now instead of having two windows here, that's just one solid window, one solid sheet of perspex, so I shan't get no drafts coming in, and it'll be a lot warmer in here in the winter for me. That's the idea. So I've done that, and also picked myself up a little tiny new radiator, because lots of you were saying, Mick, you shouldn't be using gas fires with all your petrol and stuff. So got an electric one in, so that's cool. So let's have a look at what else we've got to do. Okay, so we've also been doing some work in the garden. This is the trench for the cable to be dug down for my electrics. As you can see, it's all been dug by hand. No machinery work here used at all. All been dug by hand, and that's where the cable's going to go. Now the idea was to bring the cable out through this little tiny vent box just down here, little tiny vent. That was the idea, but come across a bit of a stumbling block, and that is my kitchen is actually made up ground and concrete base, so I can't come underneath my kitchen, so that's a bit of a pickle. I was under the house in the hallway, went under the floorboards. There's a big gap under my house, you can get underneath there, but the kitchen is actually made up ground, so I need to figure out a way what's going to happen. The Sparky's going to come in tonight. I don't know whether or not he's going to come up out through one of the children's bedrooms up the top here, come out and then come down the wall, or if it might be prudent just to trace it round the side of the kitchen and then come out through the conservatory under the damp course here, and then come out down through and then down the side of the garden. So we've got to figure all that out. That wasn't part of the plan, but here's the MTD. That's now sold. However, got an issue. Issue is it won't turn off at all. So let's go back down towards the shed. We'll fire the MTD up, show you what it's doing, and then we'll have a look into that. Okay, as you can see, I've got lots of mowers about. This one's now done. There's a video coming out on that. You should see this video before you see this one. That's been done. That's got to have a deck repair put on it. That's my hater. Lots of spare parts. I've got a big tidy up here. I've been super busy doing bits and pieces. But here's the MTD, all been fully serviced, all fully running, but it won't turn off. Well, it didn't. So let's just fire it up. I'll show you what I mean. It hasn't started for about 2 days. Starts on full choke or fires and turn it down to half choke. Now in the stop position, it turns off on its own, so it's making connection but it won't do it all the time. That's the issue. That's turned off now. It's actually turned off. But if you wiggle it ever so slightly, it'll find its sweet. There you go. It finds its sweet spot. So it will do it, but I need it to do it all the time. And I believe it's something to do with the kill switch, which should be located down in here. It may just want a bit of bending up. I'm not quite sure yet, but I've just got to figure it out. I can't sell it as it is fully running when it's not fully stopping. It's a safety issue too, but you want to turn that throttle down, the machine should stop, and it's not doing it. So let's get it up on a bench. We'll take the pull cord assembly off and we'll have a little look to see what we can't do with this. I've got a feeling the tank might have to come off as well, because it's all sort of combined. So we'll have a little look into it, see what we can't do. Okay, MTD now up on the bench. Needs to be a bit of a hose off before I sell it. But here you can see the dead man's handle switch, and there seems to be quite a bit of play in that. And when I operate it, this little tiny lever on the inside, which should make connection, is actually not making the connection. It's not doing what it should do. So I'm going to remove the pull cord assembly just to give me a bit more access. Done by some 3/8 bolts, not 10mm Mick. 3/8 bolts on the side and on the top. There's about 4 to do. And the pull cord assembly will just come off pretty much straight away. So that'll give me the pull cord assembly. And that'll give us a bit more of a sneaky peek into what's going on here. So there's a little tiny arm that when you operate the kill switch, the arm on this side will just literally come on over. So if I activate that now, let me bring you around so you can see a bit better. Right, I've got you in as far as I can pretty much muster. So at the moment this is on run, and here's your micro switch just down here. And the bit that stops the engine is right at the back, and you'll see it come down. So there it comes, and here's your micro switch just here. And when it comes over, it's just not, it's darn near touching, but it's not actually making that connection. So if I can just bend over that little tiny arm to take a little bit more slack out of this, then we're on a winner. But unfortunately that's got a little rivet there, which I don't think I can just take straight out as a quick fix. So I've got to try and somehow figure out, I can't bend this little tiny kiddie any more than what it already is. That's about as far bent over as it will go. I don't think I can bend that anymore. I can take the switch out and try and do a little tiny bit of jiggery poke with the switch, but literally it makes connection. See how it jumps there? See that, how it jumps? Look, watch. It goes out. It's making the connection, just missing it. So I need it to do its job. I could just try and put a screwdriver in the bottom here and bend that over. There's no way I can get the leverage. That's the issue. So to disconnect this switch off is a little tiny bolt down here, a 3/8. So that's got to happen. You've got to take all of the tank off, the carburetor, and everything, just to get at this kill switch, to try and do what it's got to do. So what I may do first off is just try and bend this micro switch over a bit more, just so when it actually meets, it will ground out. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tighten up all of this kill switch behind, so that it's doing its job there. So let me just try and do this bit of a bend up first, see what happens with that, rather than taking all of that assembly off. Right, so what I've done is initially put a screwdriver down into here, okay, and just tapped it in by about 3 or 4mm, nothing else. With that screwdriver in place, I've then gone in here up the top and then pinched this throttle control just bent it over by about 2 or 3mm, and now full throttle, and that now seems to be hitting that. There doesn't seem to be any play behind it. To me, that's made connection. So I'll take it outside and try that. I'll put a little bit of spray grease on there as well, just to try and help it over. So now that seems to be doing its job. Let's get a little bit of spray grease. Just to send it on its way. But that now seems to be doing its job, I would like to say. So back outside, put the pull cord back on, and we'll go for another test. Okay, so test time again. It might want a bit of half choke maybe. So onto full revs. See what we get this time. Fired. Bit of choke. Right, so running. Idle. And stop. Perfect. So once just a couple of tests, just to make sure it's going to do it every time I ask it to. Perfect. That's what I want. It's got to be running right. If it's not running right, you can't sell it. You can't have a machine like this not being able to turn off. Solved it. Happy. Okay, so that's the MTD T380 now all up and running and stopping and starting exactly as it should do. It hasn't missed a beat when I've been using it up in the top end of the garden digging the trench out, but I couldn't turn the machine off unless you put your finger in there and just activate the kill switch. But I don't expect anyone else to do that other than me when I'm testing. But now just a little tiny bit of ingenuity, a bit of bending material over just to make sure all I'm doing is just taking up slack from use and through wear and tear. That's all it is. So bit of slack taken up. I dare say if you took the control panel off with a tank and carburetor and then draw that rivet out and put a new rivet in, that would have solved it as well. But it's a lot of work just to try and get it to stop. So hopefully that'll last a fair old little while, and the gentleman who's bought it will be super happy. So hopefully you enjoy this episode of Micks Mowers. I certainly have. Lots to do, lots going on, and lots have happened within the Micks Mowers shack and around. Hopefully the cable will be installed quite soon, but I'm having problems with that, so that may be a little while longer just yet. If you did enjoy this episode of Micks Mowers, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to your channel, and that will tell you when I've done a video, or in fact my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very soon, but until then, people, don't forget, more importantly, take it easy.